Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
It's time to catch up with Chase Hanna on Kansas City Profiles. He was one of the very first when this enterprise started, and it was a pleasure to catch up with him a few years ago, and it's been quite the journey since then through many countries and getting married and a whole bunch of other things. And, of course, this week participating in the Advent Health Championships. It's been quite a ride, Chase. Thanks for taking the time. And, first of all, why don't we be right at the present? Tell us about the process of getting a sponsor exemption and how excited you are to have a home game.
Yeah, it'll be great. There was 2 weeks off on the DP World Tour schedule. I got back from China last week and just was having some conversations with my team, and we thought it would be best to play this week and kind of work on some things, and also, an added bonus is certainly playing in front of a lot of friends and family, which I haven't done in a long time. So that was kind of the reason I'm playing, and hopefully get into contention come Sunday, and then maybe don't have to take that plane to Belgium next week.
That's a good thought. Absolutely. You've had some experience on this tour. You've had some experience on just about every tour over the last few years. It's kind of been a little Korn Ferry, then the Latin American tour, and then you played the European Challenge Tour and qualified off of that for the big tour. And that's been quite a ride. Tell us a little bit, give us a thumbnail of that journey.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I mean, I've played golf in, I think, every continent now besides Antarctica, which certainly wasn't the plan coming out of college, or, certainly was never necessarily a dream of mine in high school. But, it's been awesome. I've been able to see different parts of the world and see different cultures, and obviously play against some really, really good competition. So it's been great. And at the end of the day, there's only really 3 tours that you can make a living on, and I'm just fortunate to be on the DP World Tour where I have that opportunity.
You had you had great success on the Challenge Tour, and that allowed you to play the tour, the DP World Tour, and you had a fine year in 2022, a little bit of a struggle in 2023, but you came up absolutely monstrous right at the end of the season. A lot of emotional interviews from basically getting a 4th place finish in the last tournament of the year and qualifying or next to last. Tell us about that. And, that's the life of a professional golfer. Sometimes they're great and, 2nd place finishes and some good money. And then sometimes it's a grind and you have to dig deep, and you did it.
Yeah, that was a great week. That was in Spain, right on the water. I just kind of felt a sense of peace that week with whatever happened was going to happen. And, fortunately went out there and performed. I mean, I had about a 60-footer on 18. I kind of knew I had to 2-putt it. Mm-hmm. You never really know.
Right.
And the 18th green was all burnt out super fast, and it was probably going to go about 8 to 10 feet by, and it slammed against the pin and tapped it in for par. And that was just an incredible relief. I'll never forget that moment. And then, just, thinking about, wow, you were kind of thinking, like, what was I going to do for the next year? And now you've got a full season. And, it hasn't been a great start this year, but I can go off of that experience from last year. And I'm confident that the season will turn around here soon.
Tell us about the evolution of your golf game and the things that you've tried to refine as time has gone along.
Yeah, I've always been a very good, inside 100-yard player. Just trying to get better off the tee and, better iron player. I would say that's the currency in professional golf, is how good do you hit it. So just constantly, I would say, working on that and working on my body to be able to, produce the swings that I want to produce.
And, of course, you mentioned you're going all over the world, but as this process has gone along, your relationship obviously has continued, and you got married not too long ago. How has that all worked out with you all over the world, but able to maybe combine travel a little bit?
Yeah, it's good. With all my frequent flyer points, my wife, she doesn't pay for many flights. So that's an added perk. Yeah, I mean, she'll come to about 8 to 12 a year. She works for Ernst & Young, and she has a lot of flexibility. She does communications for some higher ups on the East Coast. So yeah, we kind of, I guess, both kind of do a little bit of travel, or a lot of travel, and yeah, she's able to work remotely from Western Europe pretty easily. So yeah, we've enjoyed it. And obviously, she's going to carry the bag this week, which will make it fun. She carried a little bit on the challenge tour. But yeah, it's been a little while since she's caddied, so it'll be fun.
How do you handle that dynamic? Does she really just kind of carry the bag, or does she do a little bit more, or do you just do all the golf lifting, as it were, and she just does the heavy lifting? Yeah,
I think she's just going to carry the bag and make sure I'm in a good mental side of things, and I'm going to do the yardages and hit the shots.
What do you know about Blue Hills? You're from here. How often have you played there, and how do you like the golf course?
Yeah, I've played a lot. We've actually been members here for about 2 years. We live right across the street in Leawood South, so it'll be truly a home game. Probably pretty emotional just because I haven't played in front of friends and family in so long. But yeah, it'll be great. Blue Hills is a great golf course. The greens are absolutely perfect right now. So I think a lot of putts will be made, but May in Kansas is the weather can be never know what it'll be. So it could be based upon your draw, based upon a lot of things kind of out of your control.
You do travel all around the world on the DP World Tour, and it's maybe gotten even more expansive over the last couple of years. Tell us a couple of your favorite places that you've been, or I think with a golfer, because you're on the road and there's time in between and you're not coming home, maybe you have a little more time than some to explore. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, we do. But man, with our travel, we're usually really trying to preserve our energy. So we're not doing too much exploring. Usually when my wife Hannah's with me, so yes, Hanna, we'll get that out of the way here. She will, we'll go out to eat and stuff, but it's a long week. I mean, 72 holes.
Yep.
Usually 4.5 hour rounds. You're not doing a whole lot of tourist stuff. And
right.
That's certainly not my favorite thing to do, but we'll go check it out, the nice places. But my favorite weeks are kind of near the ocean or kind of more of a resort type area.
Now, you get this opportunity on this tour, and the way that golf works, one big week can change the arc of what you're doing. Obviously, you said you'll be going to Belgium unless something amazing happens, which certainly is possible, and you win, and then you get status, and so on and so forth. What kind of thoughts are going through your head about that?
I wouldn't say they've even really begun. I mean, you got to put yourself in that position first, and then you got to come up with a strategy how you're going to handle the thoughts that creep into your head. But I would just say mainly I'm focused on I'm going to try to focus on each shot the best I can. I know that's incredibly cliche, but that's
right.
going to hopefully quiet my mind with any outside thoughts about if I'm going to go to Belgium next week or if I'm going to go to Knoxville on this tour. It's just that doesn't help me play
right.
good golf. So I'm just going to go out and try to shoot the lowest. If I can shoot 467s, I'm going to be in pretty good shape on Sunday, and if somebody beats that, then tip your cap.
That's right, and you do know, what is the mindset that on this tour, very seldom do you win without shooting in the 20s. There are a couple of stops that are a little bit tougher than that, but a lot of times everybody's going real low. Does that change the way you think about things?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, par is relative. I think a lot of people get obsessed with par, whether it's amateurs or whoever. Like, par is just a number. Like, we could play Blue Hills this week at a par 70 if we wanted. It doesn't mean the golf holes would be any better.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, I guess you just kind of have to come up with your own game plan and kind of set goals and go from there.
And, of course, you now on the DP World Tour, you can, if you finish in the top 10, you get a PGA Tour card. And, there are various ways to elevate your career. Obviously, that it would be a bit of a stretch right now, but anything is possible. So there's different opportunities and different avenues these days than maybe there were 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, there definitely are. With the emergence of Live, it's obviously created a lot of division in the sport. I mean, I view it as a positive. I view it as anytime you have I realize it's a government, but anytime you have a business partner come in and pump billions of dollars in your industry, I view it as a positive thing. Obviously, there's tons of opinions and tons of politics involved in the relationship with PGA Tour and Live, but yeah, I mean, I think from my perspective, I'm just trying to play good golf and then have those options presented to myself, and I'm a long way from that right now. But I think that's the best way all of us players can look at it.
I guess the motto just comes down to play better, and you find out where it's going to take you, right?
Exactly.
Well, it is a home game this week. We wish you all the best, and I know there'll be a lot of people out there rooting for you. I'll be one of them, so I hope that lifts you up and doesn't create undue pressure, and you have yourself a great time.
Well, I appreciate it, Danny. Thanks.
And coming up next, we'll throw back the clock a few years and get the journey from Chase Hanna from a young age up until a few years ago, in conjunction with his visit to the Advent Healthcare Championships this week on Kansas City Profiles, presented by Easton Roofing.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Hey Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing, back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
Always great to catch up with Dr. Brad Whittle of Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Everybody wants to make every year a great one, mentally and physically, and certainly ASFCA can help in that regard.
Chiropractic, acupuncture, physiotherapies, we're going to address the body and the mind to keep you in great shape. With winter moving into spring, we don't want to have the opportunity to get hurt or to be slow and not do what we used to do, right?
Absolutely right, and you can do that in a variety of ways.
We can. We love looking at the body and how it moves, looking at the posture and how it holds us to be strong, to be safe, and really to help us do those things we love to do.
The wide variety and range of services you can get helps in that regard at Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. 7 locations all around the Kansas City area. Find the one that's most convenient for you. And for more information, visit asfca.com/Danny. That's asfca.com/Danny. If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business to Kansas City's #1 variety podcast, contact us at danny@dannyclinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you. Joined by Chase Hanna now, and we're going to talk a little bit about his story and the path that has led him to here, and maybe a few years down the line, we'll be doing another one where there'll be some cool accomplishments that he's already had plenty of those as a young man and now trying to carve out a career in professional golf. Start out, we were talking before that you were one of those plastic kids in your hands babies, right?
That's right. Yeah, my grandpa, mom's dad, got me started in golf at a very young age. So yeah, those are my first memories of going out to the golf course and just with plastic clubs and a plastic ball, and yeah, that's kind of where I fell in love with the game.
It seemed like you had a lot of aptitude for the game because you quickly became a good player, but you played in all other sports too. You weren't somebody that just was weaned completely on golf, right? Yeah,
so I played baseball growing up with all my buddies in elementary school. My dad coached the team. Played basketball. Played all 4 years in high school. Had an awesome experience with that. And yeah, just kind of always been a massive, sports fan. Played football for a year. Played soccer growing up, and played all sorts of different sports growing up, and started to kind of realize in middle school, that golf was the sport that I was best at, and then kind of started focusing on golf more than the others around that time.
You were shooting around par by the time you were a teenager, so obviously, when you're getting that kind of positive feedback, it kind of fuels the engine, doesn't it?
Yeah, certainly.